in today's episode of I Know You F***ing Lying. Man, this is crazy. Check this out.
Are you familiar with this case at all?
Which case?
The case that brings us here today, that you're testifying in?
Yes.
Okay. In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
I do not know the law legally.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something called a Terry search or a Terry frisk?
I have.
Okay, what is that?
I'm not going to say exactly. I don't know the law.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you this. A police officer is allowed to go over to anybody they want, demand to see ID, and if they refuse, they get to arrest them? Is that your testimony? Or detain them?
Can you say it one more time? I'm sorry.
Sure. Police officer goes over to somebody on the street. Let's call the person Mr. Plaintiff.
Okay.
Police officer goes to Mr. Plaintiff and says, hey, let me see your ID. And Mr. Plaintiff says, no. Is the officer now allowed to put Mr. Plaintiff in handcuffs and detain him?
I object. It's a hypothetical. It calls for speculation.
Yeah.
You can answer.
Okay. I do believe, yes, for officer safety, they do have the right to then, at least then do a pat down of the person's outer garments for their safety.
Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a criminal offense or violated a law?
Because I don't know the law exactly.
You don't know when an officer is allowed to detain somebody? Was there any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime, yes or no?
We weren't sure what she was doing.
Okay, so if you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, but we have a reasonable response to ask what she was doing.
Right, agreed. You could ask her what she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
Yes.
What's your rank?
Sergeant.
How long have you been a sergeant?
I have been a sergeant 10 years. It will just be coming up on
How long?
9.5 years.
How long have you been working for the Cook County Sheriff's Office as a law enforcement officer of some sort, in any capacity?
19 years and 10 months.
What are the Miranda rights?
Our Miranda rights? I would have to read them to you from a pre-written.
Okay.
Dog, could you imagine being in law enforcement for almost 20 years and you can't rattle off the Miranda rights? That's like Joel Osteen or Peter Popoff not being able to say the Lord's Prayer on demand. Like, imagine the amount of people that she has negatively impacted or falsely arrested with her negligence and incompetence. Yo, y'all gotta know y'all rights out there. Learn your rights. So these folks, when they pull up, you can contest anything they try to say, because obviously all of them haven't been taught or refused to learn the law that they signed up for. Hard on the Yard TV, baby. Stay woke, fellas.